Hey guys, so I wanted to do a 3-month update of my weight loss. So I had my 3-month appointment today. I'm 3 months out and I lost 60 pounds. So my glasses are reflecting a lot and that's gonna drive me crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them off. So I'm gonna be a little blind. So what I'm gonna do is give you guys an update, and then I asked on Instagram, did anyone have any bypass related questions? And I'm gonna go over those afterwards. But my 3-month appointment went good. I was really nervous because I kind of have a little bit of an issue. I've been dealing with body dysmorphia after my bypass, and that can be common just because you lose weight so fast. Like, even though you know you lost the weight and you can, that's why they say take a lot of before pictures. It's like your brain just can't catch up. I don't know how to explain it. Like, people are like, you lost so much weight, but I don't see it. But like, I'm finally starting to really see it and it's starting to click. But in the beginning, I was dealing with a lot more like body dysmorphia. Like, I don't know how to explain it because it doesn't make sense to Justin, and unless you've kind of gone through it, like I can be like, I don't see it, I don't see the weight loss, and people literally be like, I see here and you're smaller here and your waist looks smaller here, and it's like, it's just like I couldn't see it. So it's finally like I'm finally kind of moving past that, and it does really help. Therapists will suggest that you have a lot of before pictures for that reason. Anyways, so I saw my surgeon today, and another thing I was dealing with is I've been in some bypass Facebook groups, like for gastric bypass, and one specifically for people that had surgery in March like I did. And it's only for people that had the surgery around the time I did. It's like a smaller group. And so my biggest problem is I start thinking, am I doing something wrong? Like, what's going on? Because I'll see people that have lost, some people have lost like 70 pounds in 3 months. And this was telling my doctor, because I was like, I needed to talk to you because I like started freaking out. I'm like, I've only lost, this much. And he was saying I am in the above average range for like weight loss at the 3-month point. He said people that have lost like 70, like even 80 pounds are people that started off much heavier than I am. He said he's only ever seen, he's been doing this for years, he's only ever seen someone, the highest he's ever seen is somebody lose like 80 pounds in 3 months. And that gentleman started at 500 pounds. So basically, he just told me I needed to chill and maybe not be in those Facebook groups because they were giving me like anxiety, and that I was doing above average and excellent and losing more weight than the average person does at this point. So that was kind of a relief. Another little bit of information, when I first started like my journey or whatever, and I moved to solid foods, I was doing strict keto, and I was stalling and not like consistently losing. Like, I was stalling a bit, and as soon as I added in a little more carbs and like I was completely sugar free, and then I added in a very low amount of sugar a day, like 13 grams. Then it just started like going again. So I don't do really well on strict keto. So that's just kind of been my diet plan. And so 3 months, I'm doing well. I feel amazing. I have so much energy. A lot of people told me that have been through this that they didn't really have energy the first 6 months. And I do see a lot of people in the Facebook group say that they just don't really have a ton of energy right away. I got like so much energy around the 8-week mark. After I got over my staph infection completely, I just like, it was amazing. And I started feeling amazing right away. So some people do take longer to get their energy back. I just got really lucky, and I don't know if it's because which this will answer one of the questions somebody asked. I don't know if it's because I was also so tired. I didn't even have a clue what like not feeling tired would feel like, or as tired would feel like, because of my hormone issues that I had, that the reason I got the bypass. But I just feel really amazing. And so I'm gonna jump into the questions in a second, but just to kind of, one question is what I want to start with, is kind of like a two-parter. Somebody that's thinking about the surgery asked me on Instagram, one, because she's older, did people around her age get surgery, or did I think that maybe she was like kind of I don't want to say too old to get the surgery, but kind of like, I guess too old to get the surgery is what she wanted to know. And I talked to her in the DMs, but I wanted to answer this also in case somebody came across this video. I see people every day in the Facebook bypass groups that are like in their 60s doing the surgery, because it doesn't matter when you do it, really. Like, it might be a little bit of a slower recovery and it might change some things, but it is possible, because I see people all the time that are older having this surgery, and it's changing their life. So don't let your age stop you. Always talk to a doctor. Obviously, you're going to want to go see a doctor and talk to them, but I just want to say that. And then the other part of her question was to just kind of talk about the bypass and what lifestyle changes that entails. And the thing is, in a sense, people always want to say this is the easy way out, and I'm going to tell you there is nothing easy about the surgery. And the recovery was especially hard. I'm going to do a whole video related to my bypass and fibromyalgia, but it was rougher for me with fibromyalgia. But in general, and I've heard so many people say this, and they're in the recovery mode in the Facebook groups, they're like, holy crap, there is nothing easy about this. And the thing is, it's a tool. It's no different than, you wouldn't tell somebody using any kind of other weight loss tool, in Weight Watchers, I don't know, Slim Tea, whatever, you wouldn't tell them that they took the easy way out. Yes, we're utilizing a tool that does help, but the thing is, this tool fails a lot of people. I've known plenty of people that have had some form of weight loss surgery and gained it all back, or some people that only lost like 35 pounds and that's all they ever lost. The thing is, you have to work with the tool, and it's not a guarantee, and you can stretch your pouch out. And you can go right back to where you were. And that's the thing that people don't realize. So it is a lifestyle change. You're committing to, like, I had to change my eating habits, obviously. And like I said, I do kind of like a modified keto, or like a more relaxed keto than strict keto. And yeah, you eat smaller portions, but like I said, you can stretch your pouch out by overeating and be eating the exact same portions you were eating before. So it is a lifestyle change. You are kind of committing yourself to, this is your new life. I was addicted to sugar and soda, and some people, when they get farther out, will have like a sip here or there of soda or diet soda and be fine. Soda was an addiction for me. So I never want to even remotely have any of that. Another thing too is they say the carbonation can stretch your pouch out. It's just changes like that that you're like, and another thing when you go under a bypass is you don't really know what's going to happen. So some people do something called dumping, and for some people it can be instant diarrhea, it can be vomiting, it can be both. Like your heart's pounding, like it feels like you are having a heart attack, sweating, just miserable, dizzy, uncomfortable. There's so many people that have gone through it in the Facebook group are like, oh my God, I just feel like I want to die. And it's not always because somebody ate something bad. Sometimes it can just be something doesn't agree with your pouch. I've been extremely lucky. And then I'll get into that in a second, but but basically what it is you don't know when you come out of surgery if you're going to be some of the few people that can still eat sugar and not dump, or if you have carbs or sugar or anything in the future, it's always going to make you dump and you're never going to get that again. I have been given sugar accidentally, like when I've gone to Dunkin' and I do my order on the phone, like the sugar-free flavor and stuff, and then they've gone and put in 4 pumps of the swirl, which is 48 grams of sugar. And that is the only time I have experienced some form of dumping, and it wasn't super severe at all. I just literally had to crap. Like within 10 minutes, I had to go to the bathroom so bad. This is TMI. But that's literally all that's happened. So I don't have issues with sugar, but I do keep it under, I try to keep it under 13 grams. My plan is a moderation plan, meaning for the rest of my life, just try to stick low carb, low sugar, and special occasions, or if I really want something, just a small amount in moderation. And so that's my plan. And Jackson's birthday was the first time I really had any kind of sugar, and I had a bite of a cupcake and I was fine. And then I didn't want any more. The thing that my doctor says is you don't want to, like, if you want to have something or you're craving it, you don't want to, like, and I've seen this a lot too from nutritionists, you don't want to restrict yourself to the point where you end up binging. For me, because my plan, and you need to follow whatever plan your nutritionist and your surgeon has, my plan is allowing moderation of those things. For me, like, that bite of a cupcake wasn't going to send me into a spiral of eating donuts and all kinds of stuff. For some people, it might. That's why I won't have soda. Like, I won't probably ever have soda again in my life, because I feel like one sip could send me spiraling. I can't even talk, spiraling. I don't know, like, maybe diet soda would be different, but I just don't even want to find out. So anyways, I hope that answers kind of the 2 questions, and I'm going to get into the rest. And the one I wanted to talk about first was, I think it was, what is the weirdest thing about surgery? Let me see. Oh yeah, what's the weirdest thing about surgery afterwards? I would say probably the body dysmorphia. I was not expecting. And then my issues with water. So this looks like soda, but it looks like soda because it's a mix-in thing. So my thing about water, and I think I've talked about this before, is if I have just plain water, it hurts my stomach. It feels heavy and it makes me nauseous. So my surgeon said that's like really normal for people like the first year. I've heard a lot of other people say it. And for whatever reason, when I mix a powder or Crystal Light or whatever into the water, it changes that. Or I can have Gatorade Zero. And he said really it doesn't matter because your body will make it water or take what it needs from it. So I use these mix-ins, and now that my stomach is healed a lot more when I'm 3 months out, I can drink about one of these just like water without mixing anything in, but it takes me a really long time. I can get more fluids in, which are important, more fluids in faster if I add some flavor to it. Of course, they're all sugar-free. This one is a root beer one. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorite things to do with it is to shake it, put it in the freezer, let it get half frozen. It's kind of like a slushie. But they are basic. It's kind of just basically like Crystal Light. I think these things have like 15 calories maybe. And it's sugar-free, low-calorie drink mix like Crystal Light. And then, so I have some Sunny D ones I do in the morning sometimes. Same thing. These are all sugar-free. This Jolly Rancher one is really weird, but good. But yeah, so I get these in the drink mix section, and this is how I get my fluids in because dehydration can happen so fast with a gastric bypass. So yeah, that's how I get all my fluids in, and it's kind of weird to me, but I'm glad that I'm finally starting to be able to have like some water. It just takes me so long to drink it. And if I mix stuff in, I can get so many more fluids in for the day. So another thing is the doctor talked about trying not to do too much outside during the summer because of how easily and how fast we get dehydrated, especially this early out. And I just told him, like, all I really do is take my son to the water park and we go in the morning. But I do know what he means. Like, I can go in the evenings when because I'm in Texas, it's extremely hot and humid here. I can go in the backyard in the evening when the sun's on like the other side and the house is blocking it. I can go in the backyard with my son. And then in the early mornings, I like to take him to the water park like once or twice a week. And we leave by like noon usually. And because it just gets so hot so fast and I don't want to get dehydrated. But really, like, during the summers, I don't, like, before surgery even, too much heat would get me nauseous. Like, last year we tried to go to the zoo at the end of May. We were all miserable. I can't even imagine now going because of how easily I get dehydrated. So I kind of I was like, yeah, that's fine because I don't like taking my ass outside during the summer anyway. So let me see. One person asked, did I have any regrets? And my only regret is not doing this sooner. Two of my endocrinologists that treat my PCOS and my other hormone issues told me a year before my surgery, before I announced to you guys that I was having the surgery, a year prior to that, they both recommended that I do this. And my OBGYN also said that she thinks it's a good idea. So I wanted to continue a medication route and just keep trying with medicines to fix my hormones. And that's my only regret. I wish I had just done this sooner and just done it. But that's really it. Let's see. Is my fibromyalgia better? Yes and no. That's kind of a hard question to answer. I kind of want to do a whole video on it about like how different the recovery was for me and stuff, and I think I will, but there are aspects of my fibromyalgia that are better and there's things that are not. Like my pain levels haven't changed. My insomnia has gotten worse, and I think that's because I have so much more energy, which just makes it worse because insomnia is a part of fibromyalgia. Your brain just won't shut down. And now with like extra energy, which is the good thing that has improved. My fatigue from fibromyalgia has gotten so much better, but in turn my insomnia has gotten worse. So yes and no. And I'm going to do a whole video on that because I'm hoping that people thinking about the surgery, because I've gotten a lot of people DMing me. They found me on Instagram asking me about this. I'm hoping that anyone searching YouTube trying to find the answers will be able to find that video. So I'm going to do a whole video on it. So if you have fibromyalgia and you're thinking of it, that's going to be my next sit down video about my bypass. Okay, so hold on, I lost my Instagram stuff. So just one of the things wasn't a question, it was just Karen from Instagram telling me, you've already been so helpful, love watching your journey unfold. Thank you, Karen. And I'm very excited to watch yours next. I get so excited when you guys DM me and tell me about your journeys or leave comments and let me know that yours are about to start, or tell me on my Facebook page. Like when you guys message me on there on my Fibro Fighting Barbie page. Like, I get so excited for you guys to join the losers bench with me and to have your lives change. So I am so excited for Karen. Okay, was my fibromyalgia diagnosis enough for my insurance to cover my bypass? So I'm not sure if fibromyalgia qualifies you, but I didn't have insurance coverage. I was a cash patient. So it's like, oh, I cringe still thinking about it. I qualified for medical necessity of a bypass because my weight, my BMI, but also what really qualified me is my blood pressure. Now, I have a genetic systolic hypertension. Even when I'm thinner, I have high blood pressure. It's a genetic condition. My mom's side has terrible blood pressure issues. And it really doesn't matter what my weight is. I have high blood pressure, but the fact that I'm so young and the insurance doesn't really know that, it's genetic or whatever, all they see is somebody my age with high blood pressure and meeting the BMI, then it qualified me for medical necessity, or comorbidities is what they call it, I think. But the problem was that my husband's insurance company, my husband's company created their insurance plan with Cigna. So I went in thinking, okay, Cigna is going to cover it because so many people I know, in fact, one of my friends that had this surgery has Cigna and they covered hers. So I went into it, the first surgeon that I picked, and I was just like, this isn't even a thought in my head. I already know I have the comorbidities. My rheumatologist told me, both of them said I would qualify. I also have PCOS. And my hormone issues is a whole thing too. And so I just didn't think anything of it. And I got a call from the surgeon's office and they're like, honey, your insurance doesn't cover weight loss surgery. I'm like, but I have Cigna. So I called the insurance company and I talked to them and they're like, your husband's company built a plan with us to purposely exclude any form of weight loss surgery, even with medical necessity. So no matter what, no matter how many doctors say you need it or what comorbidities you have, my husband's company absolutely does not cover it. They don't want to, so they bought a plan to get away from having to pay for it. So we looked at me buying my own insurance for a year and it just came out to so much to get it covered. And we looked at going to Mexico because I've had 2 friends that have had surgeries in Mexico, so at the same place, the bypass. And I couldn't leave. Jackson was only 2 at the time when I had my surgery. He was 3 months ago, so he was 3 months from being 3 because he just turned 3. And I kept thinking if I didn't have him, I would probably have gone to Mexico. But having to go to Mexico and stay there for a few days, and if anything happened to me, my family wouldn't be there or whatever. Jackson was so young, I just didn't want to leave him for that long. I've never left him. So I just couldn't, it just wasn't a good solution for me. And so the other thing I did was I was kind of realized, okay, I'm gonna have to pay cash. So I started looking around for other reputable surgeons because the first one I picked, he had a great reputation, but God, he had no break for a cash price. His cash price was $27,000. He didn't give any breaks. And so I started researching. I researched, and I found my doctor, Dr. Chaudhry, and I went through all his reviews. He had really good reviews, and he had an amazing cash price. So my bypass was $13,000. What we did, because I did not want to use anything from savings, is we did a medical loan. And I hate loans. I hate having debt. I can't stand it. It gives me anxiety. But I just realized, and Justin and I talked about it, I'm you know what? A funeral would cost more. And that's where I'm going to be. With my genetic heart condition, it's already bad when I'm thin. And my extra weight's not helping. My hormones, my life is miserable. I felt miserable. I was on steroids all the time. So anyways, I ended up paying a cash price and I have 0 regrets about it. I hate having a loan out like that, but I just, told people in my life and whatever, that, this till I pay it off, I'm going to be pretty cheap. I'm going to be strict on my budget. And that's that. So I hope that answers your question. I really don't know if fibromyalgia would qualify you, but you can always make an appointment. Most of the time, if you have an appointment, the surgeons will do the consultation, your first consultation, free. So anyways, or if your weight's high enough, that qualifies you. Has it relieved all of my hormone issues is the next question. Yes, I can happily say yes, it has. Within a couple of weeks of surgery, all my blood panel came back completely normal. Like my hormones were balanced. I just like, I can't even describe to you like how much life I feel like I was missing because of my hormones. I don't know, it was terrible. Being on steroids made me feel sick all the time. I don't know. So yeah, my hormones are aligned, completely perfect. Everything's great. My PCOS doesn't show up in my blood work at all. My cortisone is a cream, right? So cortisol is what was really messed up for me, and that's normal again. So it worked like the endocrinologist said it would. Everything's balanced. And my PCOS, I haven't had any symptoms of PCOS either. The only symptom you could say I have is I've skipped, so my periods were normal, and then this past month I skipped my period, which I haven't been on metformin. Before being on metformin for my PCOS, I wouldn't have a period ever. Doctors would have to induce it every 3 months with progesterone for like the well-being of my uterus or whatever. But if I don't take metformin, I have no periods. So I did miss my period, but I'm just now starting to get back on metformin. So that's probably why. That would be the only symptom I had. But yeah, and I'm not pregnant. And that's another question. I'll just answer that now. Do we plan on trying to get pregnant now that I have the surgery? The recommended amount of time before pregnancy after a bypass is 18 months. Some people do it at a year out. Right now, that's not in my headspace. I'm focusing on me, my body, getting healthy, because Jackson having a sibling doesn't matter if I'm not here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's more important that he has a mom than a sibling. So we don't know if we're going to try to conceive again. We're not going to worry about that till I'm out of the 18-month window. So, but yeah, other than that, I feel amazing. My hormones are so great, and it's just been very, very exciting. And the very last question is, did I have issues with my bladder post-surgery? That actually is a really good question that I had to think about, because like now I don't have any issues with my bladder. The first like 2 or 3 days after my surgery were really weird, and I kept telling Justin, and I had to sit here and think about like, because I'm not gonna lie, I was like in so many drugs after my surgery, especially. Like I was on morphine and all kinds of crazy stuff. I had to really think about it, because I remember first 3 or 4 days after my surgery, I could not figure out what was going on, but it was like, I remembered now, but I was trying to remember like what the thing was about my bladder that was so weird. And I kept asking the nurse. When I would go to pee, I would have this issue where I'd sit there and I had to pee, especially because I had so many IV fluids going into me. I had to pee a lot, especially in the hospital. But I would sit there and be like, it was like I had to pee and couldn't. It felt like when you have a urinary tract infection, and I'd sit there forever, and then finally I'd start peeing. But it was like so uncomfortable, because I was like, what the heck? Like I run to the bathroom, like having to pee so bad, and then I would just sit there forever like, pee already. And it kind of, like, after 4 days or whatever, it kind of stopped. And I'm not sure why that happened, but the nurse kept telling me sometimes your bladder can be funky right after the surgery, but it went back to normal. Now, that question did prompt me to answer as well. I haven't had any urinary tract infections, but there are so many women I see in my Facebook bypass group that have had several UTIs. Did I say UTI? Yeah. Several UTIs already since surgery that never really had them before. And one of them I know who's had several, I've seen her post, she has said that it's because she's not getting enough fluids in. And I don't know what the other reasons are for the other ones having them, but I do know that I've seen people say that they get more urinary tract infections. Hasn't happened to me. The only thing that happened to me were those like first few days after surgery, where I would just sit there and be like, pee already, even though I had to pee. It would remind me of like, whenever I wake up, maybe I'm the only one like this, or maybe not. Let me know in the comments if you're brave enough. I'm not worried about TMI, but sometimes in the middle of a dream, I will all of a sudden in my dream have to find a bathroom, or I'll be like looking for a bathroom and I can't find one in the middle of the dream, or like I'll find a bathroom and I'll get in the stall and something's wrong, like the toilet's overflowing and I can't use it, or like something weird, like there's no stall doors, it's just a bunch of toilets and I feel like I can't pee in front of people. And usually within that few minutes of that part of my dream starting, I wake up because I have to pee. It's like some weird thing, like whenever I have to pee at nighttime and I'm in the middle of a dream, like that's how my body cues it for me to start dreaming I can't find a toilet, and it stresses me out. And then eventually I wake up and I go like, oh God, I've got to pee. And then I go to the bathroom. It's just this really weird thing. And I always tell Justin about it, and he's like, that's really weird. I'm like, I don't know. It's like my body is like trying to wake me up because, hey, you got to pee. So it starts interrupting my dream with like these dreams where I can't find a damn toilet or something's wrong with the toilet. And that's what the sensation reminded me of after surgery, was like I had to pee so bad, but like it just wasn't coming out. Which also happens in my dreams sometimes. I'll find a bathroom, I'll find a toilet, I'll sit on it, and then I can't pee. And then I'll wake up like, oh God, I've got to pee. Anyways, so TMI, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And like I said, the next sit down video I try to make probably next week, while Jackson is at Mother's Day out, is going to be about fibromyalgia and my bypass. Anyways, I'm going to end this because I've been talking forever, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.